Hello everyone and welcome to another preseason video here on the channel I Sabi FPL. It's barely 3 days to the first game of the season, and today I'll be going through 5 FPL facts I've learned from preseason preparation for the season. I'll go through things that will help you make better decisions to start the season and then to kick off properly. So if you know you're going to find it useful, like the video, subscribe and put on the notification bell as more content will come all through the season to help you make your decisions. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Arsenal's interesting form in preseason. Arsenal has been one of the best teams who have prepared adequately for this season. They've had 6 games to go through in preseasons, and their form was astonishing. They won all 6 games to make it a perfect preseason run for them, scored 25 goals, conceded 5, and kept 3 clean sheets. And looking at their assets, it's no surprise to see that Gabriel Jesus is already owned by over 70% of managers in the game. And with a price tag of 8 million, it seems to be one of the forwards who's going to the season is going to start very well. I pretty much understand why lots of managers are bringing him into their side, because the kind of form he had in preseason, and then the whole Arsenal team seems to be gelling up well and coming up with that kind of chemistry in that attack. And Gabriel Jesus seems to be the nailed number 9 striker. Nketiah is not going to be one player to come to the team and displace him. I feel Nketiah is definitely there as an impact sub, but Gabriel Jesus is their major 9 striker with little or no competition. And then there's Saka, who had 4 goals and 1 assist in preseason. Looking at it, it's owned by almost 20% of managers in the game, which is quite understandable, seeing to be that Saka had a very nice season last season and seems to be their main and talisman attacker for them. He's priced at 8 million and he seems to be on pens also. So with a player like Saka on pens in your team, it's definitely one to have. And comparing him with other 8 million midfielders, I quite understand why he's been chosen. Another Arsenal asset that is interesting in the FPL community is Martinelli. Looking at the Arsenal attack, we have the likes of Odegaard, Martinelli on the left, Gabriel Jesus in number 9 position, and then Saka on the right. So Martinelli seems to be one that tends to be in the mix a lot. And with an astonishing performance of 1 goal and 5 assists in preseason, is one that could be counted on, especially with his price tag of 6 million. It's one player that I feel going into the season, if he's nailed on, is going to have a lot of impacts in that Arsenal team. And going forward, it's going to be one FPL asset who's going to be worth its price tag. So looking at Arsenal's fixtures to start the season, they have Crystal Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham and Aston Villa, which is quite good, a good run of fixtures for you to own their assets. It may be a very good decision to start with some of these assets. And going forward, we'll look on how we're going to adjust and fit in other FPL options in our teams. The second point I'm going to talk about is Chelsea's poor performance in the preseason. They played 5 games, won 3, lost 1 and drew 1. Given that it's preseason, there's no one to read too many information into. But looking at how Tuchel has responded in press conference and how they have performed so far, scoring 8 goals and conceding 1 with only 1 clean sheet in these preseason games, is something that definitely cannot ignore, because their assets are not looking like they are high attacking and also not looking like they are good much at the back. So personally, I won't be looking on to start on with any of these Chelsea defenders, except we have the likes of Cucurella, who is rumoured to go to the club. If this transfer goes through, having a 5 million Chelsea wing back would be interesting. The only asset I will be interested in getting is Mount. This is because he's well integrated into the team, he's a major part of the whole attacking chemistry of the club, and seems to be the major performer all through the preseason. For other assets like Sterling, I would definitely avoid. But their goalkeeper Mendy is the highest owned goalkeeper in the game, who is currently owned as 22.1%. Interesting to see that this number of managers have decided to own him, which is quite understandable given that it's 5 million and Chelsea could prove defensive sometimes. But I don't see them starting off the season with a very good defensive record, especially having to play Tottenham in Game Week 2 and then Leicester in Game Week 4. So their defense is definitely an avoid for me. Also, the only attacker I'll be definitely considering is Mount, if at all. Going over, let's talk about how good Spurs has been in terms of their performance in preseason games. Having played 4 games, won 2, lost 1 and drew 1, their major assets to look at is definitely Kane and Son. Kane had 5 goals and 1 assist, and then Son had 2 goals and 4 assists in this preseason. So there's absolutely no doubt that these 2 players are definitely going to be the major FPL assets from Tottenham. But then talking about their defense, to be important to note that they kept no clean sheets in this preseason period. But then looking at a player like Perisic, who is priced at 5.5 million and owned by 29% of managers in the game, is one that proved quite popular. There have been talks of him being rotated with other wing backs in the game, but I don't think that's the case because if you come from Inter Milan to reunite with Conte and is very high attacking, I feel it's going to be a major factor for Tottenham going to the season. In the last preseason match when they played and lost against Roma, played just over 70 minutes. This goes to show that he may be quite nailed on for them to start the season. Another club I would like to talk about their awesome preseason performance is Aston Villa. There's always that one club who is kind of quite mid-table or about 8th, 9th or 10th positions that tends to hold or make it difficult for big teams in the Premier League. I feel going to this season, that club is going to be Aston Villa. They've had quite the performance in preseason. Played 5, won 4 and drew 1. I was opportune to watch their game against Manchester United, where they held Manchester United to a 2-2 draw. From that game, the major thing I could note was that they are still quite strong at the back, and have kept 3 clean sheets over the preseason, which is why I'm not so surprised saying that cash is owned by just over 20% of managers in the game. Especially with their early good run of fixtures, is one that will prove fatal. Not only their defense, the attack is quite good also. Looking at a player like Bailey, who is priced at 5 million, may be one of the best budget picks this season. The only issue we may have with him is his fitness, but their manager has gone out of his way to say that Bailey, when he's fit, is definitely one he will play in his side. Just before I go on to talk about budget picks, if you know you've enjoyed the video so far, please smash the like on it, subscribe and put on the notification bell so as to receive more content going on to the season. So I'll round up by talking about 4 budget players to start the season with. I've already gone to talk about how Bailey and what I think of him. So now I'll talk about Andres Pereira, who just signed for Fulham and in their friendly has seemed to be one of the major players around them. He was even on set pieces in a game that Fulham won 3-1 against Astoria. He also got an assist in the game. Though Mitrovic seems to be the main man for Fulham, I feel at 4.5, Pereira may be one to offer quite some value at some point this season. He's also a good enabler or a bench player. Another player is looking like a very good enabler is Neco Williams for Nottingham Forest. On loan from Liverpool, it's looking like he's one that is definitely going to be part of the mix, especially in that right back position. So having him as 4.0 in your team is a good bench option. We saw the likes of Livramento last season, who was good coming off the bench for the beginning part of the season. This may well be another Livramento move. And to round up is Patterson in the right back position for Everton. Though it looks like he's covering for Coleman, who is on injury, having him to start the season on your bench is not also a bad option. So looking at him and how he has been heavily involved, getting some assist in preseason action, is one that may be an interesting pick to start the season with, especially with his price tag of 4 million. So Everton fixtures doesn't look good on paper, and also they're not quite impressive from preseason and everything. I feel having Patterson is not also a bad idea. So that's it for majorly what I've learned in terms of preseason action and these 5 things I've pointed out. I'll be back tomorrow with my Gameweek 1 draft selection. Be sure to like and subscribe so as to receive the notification for when the video comes out. Ciao, and I'll see you in the next one.